Hello guys, I'm so excited that I finally have just received my new book, which is Training, Nutrition, Supplementation in Bodybuilding. You can purchase this book on Amazon. In this book, you're going to find basics regarding how to eat, how to work out, and what supplements to use in bodybuilding, and along with my other book, which is already available, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, actually speaks about drug use, which is the improved version of my very first book, The PEDs Used in Sports. Somebody has the whole package of knowledge in order to fulfill his targets. Thank you so far for the positive feedback and the good comments, and I hope you do like it.
Hey everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Tsoulianos, brought to you by his two books. First, of course, we had the original, Bodybuilding, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. A lot of great information on there on PEDs, gives you drug profiles, stacks, how they're commonly used, things to be concerned with, all kinds of info. Newer book, written during quarantine by the doctor, Training, Nutrition, Supplementation, and Bodybuilding. That helps you out. You put all that together, and you've got great results. When you're training right, you're eating right, taking good supplements, and of course, you throw some drugs in there, and boom, you're doing about as well as you can do. So please welcome from Athens, Greece, Dr. George Tsoulianos. How are you, doctor?
Hello, Ron. Are you heading to Tampa?
Yes, of course. Actually,
the New York Pro, strange, huh?
Actually, we're doing this show, guys. Full disclosure, we're recording 2 shows in a row. That's why I'm wearing the same shirt. He's always looking like a doctor with his scrubs. But by the time they see this, New York Pro will be over. So they'll have a new New York Pro champion. It'll be interesting. But I will be there. I hope.
It will be held in Florida.
Tampa, yeah. And the Chicago Pro is going to be in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think it's a joke because everyone thought the Olympia was going to move to Florida too.
Chicago Pro was a long time ago in the 90s.
No, we've had it. Tim Gardner puts that on too. He's put it on. I've been to it the last 17, 18. This will be my 4th year in a row covering that show, but it's it's not in Chicago this time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter where these shows are, honestly. I never leave the hotel anyway. It doesn't matter.
The New York Pro was was New Jersey or Madison Square Garden only once, huh?
Well, back in the old days, that because it's a show that it took over where a previous show called Night of Champions basically became New York Pro or transitioned into that. Yeah, when Steve Weinberger took over the event, I want to say it was like 2003, 2002 or 3, it became New York Pro. But yeah, it used to be in the Beacon Theater. I think maybe it was in Madison Square Garden once. I'm not sure. But yeah, they wanted to have it in New York. New York wouldn't let any events. Then they tried to have it in New Jersey. That wasn't looking good either. So a few weeks before the event, they moved it to Florida, Tampa, Florida. So the show goes on. Yeah, it's going to be great. We got some questions for you, doctor, of course, the viewers. And just so you guys know, we're not always going to be able to answer every single question that gets posted. We choose the best questions, the ones that we find interesting, the ones that we think
are really long and tired,
Yeah, if you write this much on the page, guys, no, we're not going to answer it. I'm sorry. You got to.
Well, we used to, but not anymore,
Yeah, because your life stories are very interesting, but we got to get through a lot of questions.
We have spoiled them a lot, haven't we?
Yes, it's the entitlement, but yeah, you give people a lot of stuff, and they expect more stuff. But guys, we do want to help you. That's why we're here. So we are going to choose the questions we think can help the most people out there, especially when it comes to using these things correctly and protecting your health.
We have to be proud. There's no other tube on bodybuilding YouTube that answers so many questions.
No, not at all. I think
crazy.
They'll answer like 2 or 3, and that's it.
If I could earn $10 from each question, I would be now have thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah, dude. If you had, it's like we always say, if I had $1 for every blah blah blah. But yeah. Because this is like 1,000. We figured out it's already like 1,000.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's number 79, and it's more than 10 per episode.
Yeah. You average about 15 questions, I think, typically.
The record was 24, I guess.
Dude, I don't want to break that record. Trust me. Let's get right to it, doctor. My doctor said that I have thick blood and I shouldn't use testosterone. How do I fix the thick blood?
Well, you have to take either aspirin, fish oil. You can also hydrate more. You can donate, of course. And you can use pentoxifylline, which is a medication that improves circulation. So this is it. Basically, you have to deactivate platelets and to dilute your blood with water, get rid of the blood by phlebotomy or donation, and improve circulation by this medication. But if you want to stop EPO produced by your bone marrow, there is a miraculous drug that I recently tried and it saved my life. It's a blood against blood pressure. It's called losartan, and it dropped my hematocrit in 4 months dramatically, you know. And I no longer donate. I don't have to care about my hematocrit. This was a nightmare for me. I reached 60 hematocrit, and now I have 48, you know, and with the same or higher dose of TRT.
Yeah, you used to always post videos of you drawing out your own blood, remember?
Yeah, like a vampire, you know.
Like, dude, I would hate that. I need my blood. Don't take my blood away.
I even quit TRT during quarantine for this reason, you know.
Yeah. Wow. So this drug has fixed your hematocrit issues?
Yeah, 50 milligrams per day. It comes in 25, 50, and 100. Huh. So 50 milligrams per day. Maybe I feel a little bit hypotensive, but man, it's miraculous. And accidentally, they realized that it may lead you to anemia, but this is good for me.
Oh. Losartan?
Losartan, yes. In the United States, it's called Kozar in Greece, but losartan is this compound. Actually, there are many references online by PubMed that it has, it lowers hemoglobin, you know. It's miraculous.
Yeah, this is a great thing for people that have issues with their hematocrit.
Yeah.
Next question. What is an optimal IGF-1 level for a 48-year-old male? I'm currently using 1 IU of Nutropin injected 2 times a day. My level of IGF-1 is 315. Is that considered safe? You have mentioned that levels that are too high might be dangerous.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it depends on the specific laboratory. And also because every decade has different numbers. So as we age, it drops. And the peak comes to in puberty, I guess, until 18. Yeah. But from what I hear, 315 is pretty good. But perhaps some laboratories need to be over 400, some other need to be over 200. So you have to clarify this in the lab work, in the specific laboratory, you know, specimen, and then see what is the range over there, because it varies.
Okay. Very common question we get about the size of the needles you use. This gentleman wants to know, is it okay to use a 1/2-inch needle to inject testosterone into the deltoid muscle? Will it get absorbed properly? How about that?
Yeah, 1/2 inch is about an insulin syringe, yes, and it's pretty accurate what he says. To the rear delt over here, to the side delt, okay? And it goes straight intramuscular because there's almost zero fat if you are well trained, okay? Right. And so it's called shallow intramuscular, unlike the deep one in your butt that you have to penetrate the fat first. That's why you use such things that hurt a lot.
Yeah, yeah. The glutes usually it's either an inch or an inch and a half. It's
if you're raped, it comes to an inch. But if you're off season, you need larger.
Depends on how much. If you're a fat ass guy, you might need one like that. Who knows? Okay. Next one is I'm in my first cycle. Listen to this number: 509 milligrams of test. I don't know where I think it was a typo. I bet he meant to say 500. Test C weekly for 16 weeks. So he's doing 500 milligrams of testcipionate a week. You mentioned needing an androgen like deca. First of all, is deca an androgen? No, right?
No, it's an anabolic.
Okay. To assist the test in accumulating gains. Is that to say no gains will be made on the testosterone alone?
No, they will, but the point is you have to stack compounds. So you have to stack compounds that are more anabolic than testosterone, okay? But you can cycle testosterone. It's a beginner's thing, you know. It's like TRT, for instance, the one compound. But anabolics they favor tissue growth, and testosterone has anabolic properties, but it's the androgen that makes boys men, you know.
Yeah. This is why the most common stacks for bulking, very, very simple stacks, test and deca, test and equipoise, even test and trend, very, very popular. Like I say, if you can't grow on those guys.
have some pills also, one dianabol, anadrol, and perhaps halotestin for the strength. But this is classic, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Next one is, thanks for my answer regarding my cycle question, Nolvadex and aromatase inhibitors. I guess that was last week. I'm going to add Arimidex. I've already ordered it. The doc said I should also add some Proviron. What's the function of Proviron?
It's to elevate free testosterone, to have some anti-estrogenic effect, to burn some fat, to give you better sex drive, some muscle hardening perhaps through anti-estrogenic effect or beta oxidation of adipose tissue. It's a secondary, it helps in a secondary way,
Like I said, I started using it about 6 weeks ago, I think, maybe. And man, it does.
You should never stop it. It's a lifestyle drug for us.
Yeah, it's very, very.
We think faster. We have better self-esteem. We have a better hard-on. It's a real good. It's non-toxic.
It's good stuff, man. Yeah. Thanks for. I don't know if it was you or Thomas. I think it was you that it was you talking about Proviron all the time that made me look into it.
Yeah, because Thomas is not aware. It's not available in the U.S. unfortunately.
No. Well, none of these things. A lot of things we use as bodybuilders are not, but we find a way to get them. Here we go. Next one is, you recommended low dose tamoxifen and clomiphene. What is a low dose of each?
So half a tablet, 25 and 10 milligrams respectively.
Okay, easy enough. Next one is, I will start Clomid soon after being on TRT for 2 years. The only concern I have is SHBG increase from Clomid. I know that boron decreases SHBG in some men, but does it even work when on Clomid? The reason why I will try Clomid is because I want to join the Dutch Marines in 2021, 2022, but they have a zero tolerance for medications. So I need to get the boys back. I believe by boys he means his testicles, his balls. Yeah. So what was his question? Boron. He wants to try Clomid, and he wants to know if...
he can stack Nolvadex also along with Clomid.
Okay. That more? Would that be more effective than boron, the supplement?
No, I mean, Nolvadex does similar job with Clomid as a serum, but boron is capable of binding to SHBG. Okay. Now, if he uses also Proviron, then the point is Proviron is counterproductive for the HPTI restore, So in one way, with serums, you're trying to kick your testosterone, but if you use Proviron in order to, because I want a parenthesis here, I want to clarify that Clomid, in first hand, it elevates your own testosterone, but looking in the paper, it elevates SHBG that kicks down a free testosterone. So it may be counterproductive in the end of the day, because as total testosterone goes up, SHBG goes up, and free testosterone doesn't follow. So in this way, you have to keep down SHBG to let free testosterone elevate along with total testosterone. So if you use boron, no problem. But if you use Proviron also shuts off LH. So anyway, I don't want to confuse, but you can use boron, but you can also avoid fasting, because if you fast and do keto diet, SHBG also elevates. So you have to eat every 2 hours and kick insulin, okay?
Gotcha. Okay. Next one is a little longer. Sometimes against my better judgment, I put the long questions in. The minute I stopped my AIs with 250 milligrams testinantate weekly and introduced 100 milligrams deca, farmer grade, in a matter of 3 to 4 days, I had mild depression, like not being able to smile or wanting to talk, and of course, zero sexual desire. It was so bad. I started 250 milligrams of cabergoline, Dostinx, every 5 days, and boom, I feel like a god. I mean, great mood, positive, 24/7. Super horny. On top of that, I can eat all day, even cheat meals very often, and I don't gain any fat. I love Dostinx. My question, is prolactin so powerful that suppressing it gives you all those great things? Are there any health issues if I use Dostinx for 4 or 5 months in a row? My heart is fine. I went to a cardiologist some months ago for a full evaluation. Wow, this Dostinx sounds great.
Is a dopamine agonist. So in other words, it elevates dopamine. Now dopamine is capable, it's responsible for the feeling of reward. Okay, so if your dog does something nice and you give him a candy, the dopamine goes up really fast. So you say bravo. Yeah. But when dopamine elevates, although you stimulate appetite sometimes, and you have to realize that after ejaculation, after sex, some people rush to the fridge. Why? Because dopamine and prolactin is also high. Anyway, this guy said that he had depression when he stopped aromatase inhibitors.
Yeah.
Because the weird thing is that using aromatase inhibitors sometimes make you depressed because your estrogens, the joy hormone, go down, and this is a. But you shouldn't use cabergoline and Dostinx out of the blue. You know, you need a reason for that. We cannot just take a pill. You know, if you have prolactinemia, yes, you can use it.
Okay.
Some people have a primitive ejaculation because of the super low prolactin. So if you elevate prolactin, you don't have this. You have anorgasmia, which is I cannot come. You know,
That's the worst.
This is good for women to give them organs, and they're never gonna leave you.
Unless they find a bigger, better deal, the BBD, as we say. Hey, Doc, is injecting vitamin B12 safe if you're not deficient?
It's good in order to keep homocysteine under control. Make sure that B12 vitamin is water soluble, so it hurts a lot, like winstrol, for instance, or suspension testosterone, or glutathione. On the other hand, it's not accumulative like vitamin D3, or vitamin E, or vitamin A, or vitamin K, the fat soluble. But cobalamin, known as B12, is the vitality vitamin. Stallone used to do it intravenously, you know, and is responsible for erythropoiesis, so elevation of hematocrit and synthesis of DNA of red blood cells of erythrocytes. And if you elevate cobalamin, it's stored in the body for 5 years. So in order to have megaloblastic anemia, which is deficiency of B12, you practically have to starve and be malnourished for a long time, you know, like in the Africa, the poor kids in the Africa. And also if you are a serious vegan, you know, full-time vegan, 365. Now, if you elevate B12, the good thing is that it reversely related to homocysteine, which is a bad compound. It's an amino acid-like compound that elevates, and it has to predispose for strokes and heart attacks. So don't be afraid of B12 because it will give you vitality and stamina, and it will lower your homocysteine, you know, which is a bad thing. Steroids elevate homocysteine, and smoking elevate homocysteine.
Gotcha. Okay. Next question. Could you talk about using maca and mucuna pruriens to increase libido? Another thing, here in Brazil, there's a doctor prescribing low-dose selegiline, never heard of that, to increase dopamine and libido at a dose of 2 to 3 milligrams. What do you think? Have you seen this?
Yeah, these are herbs. You know, you can add also Tribulus terrestris from Bulgaria. You can also add D-aspartic acid, which is the new deal. You can add also ZMA or zinc before sleep, along with fenugreek or long jack or horny goat. Actually.
I mean, how effective are they? How effective are these compared to like using a little bit of testosterone?
Nothing, but the point is, these generate your own testosterone from, you know, the factory from inside. You know, they kick your testicles supposedly. But frankly, I believe there was one time that I took all of the compounds from the market. I gave about $300 for that, you know, and I tried all of them one after the other, and I noticed a slight elevation, only capable for sex drive, not serious to build some mass, you know.
But you notice a big drain in your bank account because you used all those things. Wow. Wow. This is we've gotten this question all the time. PCT, everybody wants to know, what's the ideal PCT protocol and for how long after your first cycle? This guy's doing 500 milligrams test a week for 15 weeks. Also wants to know what's your take on cycle. Yeah.
It depends on the compounds you're using. If you're off season, you're using long esters, so perhaps 10 days, 2 weeks. Now, if you use pills and propionate or acetate esters, you need perhaps 1 week is enough. So we start kicking the balls with HCG, low dose of 1,000 or 1,500 every 3 days. This goes roughly for 2 weeks, and then after another 2 weeks, we give you the try with SERMs, low-dose clomiphene and tamoxifen. And we may combine those supplements that we mentioned a bit earlier, plenty of cholesterol to synthesize testosterone, sleep from 11 to 7, ATP and creatine in order to have intensity that elevates testosterone. So this is a PCT, but of course, Father Time is a healer, and we need to wait. As long as we're into the cycle, we need to be after the cycle. PCT plus, as long as we're into the cycle, in order to have a better sex drive and recuperation, but not, something else, in order to recover between two cycles.
Gotcha. And he also wanted to know what to take on cycle to reduce the dangers.
Of what?
Of being on steroids, of being on 500 milligrams of
It's
test.
multifactorial. You have to tell about the kidneys, the cardiovascular, the liver, the blood pressure. It's the prevention thing is multi-blend,
Okay. I mean, yeah, there's all kinds of, heart.
So, okay, I'm going to say, so NAC, glutathione, LIV52, alpha-lipoic acid, and milk thistle for the liver. Now, for the lipids, TMG for the homocysteine, then red rice yeast, polycosanol, berberine, I'm sorry, it's bergamot, okay, and EFAs also for the lipids. Now, for the kidneys, we need to hydrate a lot, stay away from sodium, and keep the blood pressure checked, Aspirin, if it's blood thickening, and fish oil, of course.
Yeah.
We said it before.
Okay. Yeah, of course. It's a common question. I'm skipping the question, guys. We're going to get away from critiquing your cycles because you're listing a long, long list of things that you're taking, how many times you're taking them a week. It's just very detailed, and we're not really.
We can have a consultation with these guys in private, but your personal issues sometimes are, it's better to keep it for yourselves, and people are not interested in that. Otherwise, if it's too personalized, then reach me, in private and consult me.
There you go, guys. So just get a hold of the doctor. He does private consultations. Next question, HCG in men, can it increase prolactin and progesterone? HCG.
Progesterone, yes, because HCG kicks the steroid pathway. So from cholesterol to testosterone, the steroidogenesis is favored by HCG. So you can elevate, for instance, pregnenolone that metabolizes to progesterone, and elevating a little bit progesterone is not bad because progesterone and also pregnenolone that metabolizes to it improves nervous system and sleep and mature of the sperm. So each hormone has to be balanced. Now, if it's too much of progesterone, it's a female hormone, is not good. But HCG may favor steroidogenesis, which is an overall good thing for the overall hormonal health in men. What was the other one? Prolactin?
Prolactin and progesterone, yeah.
I'm not sure about prolactin. Prolactin elevates also with stress, with low thyroid, with medications, with opiates, SSRIs, marijuana, So you may use HCG, but if you stay up all night and smoking weed, that elevates your prolactin.
Well, that's what a lot of guys do these days. A lot of guys love weed is very, very popular here in the USA, let me tell you. Next one is about pregnenolone. Would like to have the doctor's opinion on adding pregnenolone to my HRT regimen. I'm currently on 200.
Yeah, I'll just answer that. I add also 25 milligrams. I used to add 50 milligrams or even 100, but it's good because it makes also more of progesterone, and the progesterone perhaps will synthesize some more DHEA, and everything in this steroidogenesis cataract, how we say it, fall is helpful for the men. So you can live without pregnenolone, of course, and without HCG, but it's better for the whole hormonal profile to have a multi-blend of hormones. Okay.
Final question. GH, here we go. Would like to have the doctor's opinion on only using GH post-workout on an empty stomach on post-training about 4 days a week at 2 to 3 IUs and none training. Use a combination of CJC 1295 and ipamorelin on non-training days.
Yes, I would add GH post-workout for one reason, because you have the hypoglycemic environment that is good for the GH to work and to avoid also the insulin resistance, which is induced by GH. And on the non-training days, if you want to save your pocket, then you may use the GHRH peptides, which is sermorelin, MK677, GHRP6, RP2, all this compound like you mentioned.
Yeah.
But the best thing is to use straight, 7 days a week, your GH, even the non-training days,
Yeah. So if you're taking a post-workout, you can't have a post-workout shake for 30 minutes, right?
You leave a window of 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But you need also your fridge and the GH, so it can, yeah. It's kind of tricky,
Oh, you could, have an ice pack in your cooler, I guess, keep it nice and cool.
Or go to the bar of the gym. Say you can.
The juice bar.
GH.
I mean, maybe at your gym. I don't know what the policy is over there in Greece as far as is growth hormone available without a prescription there or no?
No. But there was a time when I got my GH to the gym and said to the lady, "Please, can you keep it that for me later?"
I used to do that
She
with
had no
like
idea, of
food.
course, what it was about.
Yeah, I used to make people I used to ask them like if I had food or something for whatever it is. Can I leave this in the refrigerator? Yeah, they're very nice. These people that work.
Yeah,
at the
in
gym.
some shows they do have their insulin, I think, together, because you don't use GH the day of the show. You use insulin, perhaps. Yes.
I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any fridges backstage at the contest, so guys must do it in their hotel room before they go down to the show. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all the questions we have for you, Doctor. Thank you so much for helping out the people of the world here. And again, guys, if you want to reach the doctor for very personal information, he is available for consultation. He does Zoom, Skype, all that stuff. Telemedicine, guys, it's the wave of the future, especially now with the world under quarantine. So, Dr. Touliatos, thank you so much for taking the time, spreading giving us your knowledge, your expertise on these matters. Very, very much needed out there. As we know from these quizzes that we've been doing, people don't know as much as they need to know. So keep asking questions, keep learning, keep researching. Very important. Everybody, thanks for watching. Ask Dr. Testosterone with Dr. George Touliatos. We'll see you next time.